with us Mr. Avinash Nichkawde. He will be here to discuss about going global, the opportunities, meeting entrepreneurs, a little bit about Mr. Avinash. Avinash, the founder and Group CEO of AN Global Group Holdings, is a testament to entrepreneurial excellence. From a chartered accountant in Mumbai to leading a multinational across 10 countries, his journey is marked by innovation and global success. Renowned for his dynamic approach and visionary leadership, Avinash has transformed diverse businesses into recession-proof successes, making him a sought-after authority in international business expansion and consulting. He is, on a lighter side, he's a very jovial person. He will keep giving you slight remarks to make you laugh. Over to Avinash. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Anuradha. Actually, my only sister is, her name is also Anuradha. And so when I met her, I told her that I grew up fighting with her, you know. But we're not fighting, that's good. So it's a great honor to be here, to meet all the eminent people. Sahil, I came across a few years ago. We became instant friends. He's an intelligent chartered accountant. I'm lucky chartered accountant because people sitting next to me were intelligent. So I was a very young one. I passed quite early age. Maybe not good enough. So I was exported out of India. I went to Australia I was 22, 23 that time, and started my own tax accounting practice in mid-20s. I was lucky, maybe thought out of box, and I became number one in the whole country in Australia with 7,000 clients, 20 public companies, including Tatas. So the Indian consulate, any who's who would come to Australia, they would refer to me. I personally did not believe in my own abilities, and so I remember how I got Tatas, unbelievable. And then, I thought maybe, God wants to give me, so I better accept it. And so life has been pretty good. And so AN Global is my company. Now we've got a lot of shareholders, we're growing. And so it's a pleasure to be here, to meet all the people. It's good to hear the pitches. And I can relate to every aspect of business entrepreneurship. For me, as a first year BCom, to go from Nagpur to Bombay was a huge task in those days when you didn't have the mobile phones and like we have today. To, in a new city that big as Bombay, little Nagpur boy, and it was pretty, it's amazing. But then to become in a second year BCom, against everyone's suggestion to even appear for the CA inter exam everyone thought I was mad. I'm still mad, but I did pass the exams in the first attempt. So anyway, that is the background. So as of today, I'm an Australian citizen. I do have passport since 1991. I'm a US citizen as well, so I've carried both passports. And for India, I do have OCI. So life has been very good, but entrepreneurship is something I'm really passionate about. I'm not born in an entrepreneur family. I'm not born in a business family. My mother was a doctor. My father was an engineer. My grandfather was a doctor. Other one was a lawyer. So we are from middle class, maybe upper middle class, but it was thrown at me, the whole thing. And then, you take up the challenges. So I was interested to see the two pitches today as well. And I can relate to a lot of these things because this is where we're heading as well. So AN Global, our goal is to be on NASDAQ in next 4 to 5 years. It's been this amazing entrepreneur journey. In fact, most of these pieces have come together in the last few years. So let me start with AN Global, and I'm here to meet the entrepreneurs. I'm here to meet any businesses that can want to become a global company. We're happy to share. Just a couple of weeks ago, I was in Nigeria, also in Ghana, and I was surrounded by the media. I had the local king also come to my event. And so they were complaining, how are you going to help the entrepreneurs here? We have this government policy, that government policy, the exchange rate was a huge issue. So I was used to a bit of media, but so I said, it's like you're playing on a soccer field, playing football, and the football field is very bad. So I said, I'm here to meet the entrepreneurs, and if your business model is good, and let's say the stones on the playing field is like, the obstructions for your, injury-prone match, I'm going to take you to the new field. If your model is good, if your business is good, I'll take you to US, I'll take you to Canada, I'll take you to UK, I'll take you to Australia, and I'll work it all out. But I'm here to know that your model is really good. And next day, all the Nigerian newspapers had a headline, AIM Global, blah, blah, blah. I was also interviewed on the television, national broadcasting in Ghana and things like that. So I am very passionate about the business. Have, from the school of hard knocks, have learned a few things, and I'd love to share my experiences, tell you what AIM Global does, and if there are some, entrepreneurs out here, if any of your business models are worthy, we'd love to take you. In fact, part of our AIM Global is to acquire companies. We are going to acquire a lot of companies and not invest a little bit here and there. We want to take it over, major stake at least. And then we will roll it out globally. We have expertise in franchising. We'll talk briefly on that. So we'll work out what is the best way to scale it up and roll it out. So that's one of the selfish reasons I also meet a lot of entrepreneurs to see how we can do consulting. But it's not the consulting revenue that I'm interested in. I'm looking for great opportunities that we can also help them become global companies. So someone asked me before, when you say 10 countries, how do you see? I know John, Mary, and then I'm in that country. No, we actually go there a few times, and we actually find out. So we have a menu. We've got 7 verticals. I'll briefly tell you, and then we see, okay, which of these verticals is going to work in this country? What is the culture here? What is the economics? What things? It's like Canada. I've been there 100 times. Before we formed the company in Canada, I went there 5 times. I was still not sure which one is going to work. And then I formed the company, and still I was not very, very certain. And then we found out, okay, this is going to be our driving force. This is going to be what we're going to focus on. So each of the countries, they are there for a reason for us. And so it's not that we take one medicine and just try and pitch it and sell it everywhere. We go and try and find out. So I think you gave an analogy of food. So let's say I have the best chicken dish, and then I come to Gujarat and say they all are vegetarians. So I change the chicken and make it into a vegetarian dish. So it's very interesting, and it's a great honor to be here. So we are in US, we are in Canada, we are in Mexico. 4 months ago I was in Mexico, and I was thinking, what am I doing here? I can't understand the language. And today, if you look at it, we have great people. And we're helping a lot of the franchisors from Mexico to expand. Now when I get a consulting agreement, I get for 3 countries, US, Canada, and Mexico, because we have local team. So our motto is global vision, but local knowledge. So whichever country we have local teams. And, I work through that. So Australia I still feel Australia is home, although I live in US for the last 10 years. Then of course India I thought more as a back end. I've got about 30 people working here for me. But India now I want to take it to the front foot, because I do feel there's a lot of opportunities that can be done. But having left India at the age of 22, 23, I will be a big failure in India if I was to do business. And for those of you who are doing business, I salute to you. But I can do very well in the Western countries. US, Australia, I know back to front, what to talk, and how to get the business things done there. So India, we opened up in Dubai some time ago. That's a stepping stone to Middle East. Nigeria, Ghana, I was quite surprised. We've got some, appointed a consultant to a smart city there. And so interesting. Bangladesh, some asked me why. So Bangladesh, we are there because Bangladesh has a special treaty with the US government that if you're a Bangladeshi, or even if, for that matter, if you're Pakistani, you just need $100,000. You can just buy a little subway or small business, and you and your family can just move there on a business visa. Unfortunately, Indians can't, or Chinese can't. So the US government has this treaty. So that's why we're there strategically, so that any of those people who want to come and buy businesses, we can help them. So those are the 10 countries we're in. Our goal is to be in 25 within a year or maybe 18 months, and we will be there. We know which countries we're going to. I haven't even touched on Southeast Asia. I used to have my own companies in Hong Kong, China and all before 2003, 2004, before the Beijing Olympics. We were all pitching. I used to own, anyway, I'll tell you my background a little bit. So accounting is my background. Lucky to pass CA at the age of 21. I was a national level sportsman. My children don't believe it. They believe I was born bald and fat. That I showed them my college pictures. My son should have been playing for Australian cricket, but he had injury issues. So I started with tax practice, went into education business, because and we used to own international colleges in Australia and New Zealand. I also owned a flying school, up to commercial pilot's license. Those were my younger days in my 20s and early 30s. So I was very passionate about it, and I took calculated risk. It's not that I was totally stupid. I did do some numbers, but I was not afraid of taking risk and even venturing into things that I had never done in my life before. As long as the business model was good, I did. The 2020, when the pandemic was on, I actually moved from California to Dallas, and I thought, how I'm going to reach out to all the Dallas people. But in Sydney, I used to run a television show for the entire Indian community for 1 hour. I used to go to talk about taxes for 5 minutes, and people thought I was intelligent, but I was only reading it. But that made me do a lot of research, and I became reasonably okay at it. So in Dallas, we actually talk about growth and turnaround, how to turn your business around, how to grow. And I think previously, like Sahil was saying, I never believed in 10% growth. I always doubled my turnover. First set their goal and then work out. So that is one of the things I had to grow like that. And that was from my 20s. I always give, some people ask me, some advice and all. I firmly believe that no matter what business you do, what service you provide, what product you provide, try and become the best at it. Absolute best. You become excellent and the money is going to chase you. You don't need to chase money. And that was my philosophy even when I started my tax practice. I wanted to be the best, and I wanted the world to know that I am the best. And so I had only one competition those days from the Indian community. This guy had failed CA Inter, but he was far too good businessman, far too big marketeer, and he was at $39 flat fee. And my marketing strategy was, if you want the best, come to me. People would pay me $100 and go happily because they knew that they had someone who had knowledge who would really take care of them. So that's one thing I say, that try and be the best. And if you want to think, I could have played for India in few sports, but I didn't go because I thought, even if I play for India, so what? What's the big deal? Where am I at world level? And I thought, in athletics, basketball, I said, I'm never going to be there at the top. So forget about it. So enjoyed the school days, bit of college days, then took to these so-called studies and all. So that's a little bit of background. God has been very kind. I've really enjoyed life in every way. When I look back, I'll have a lot of stories to tell. Been to more than 45 countries on business. I had a great job because I used to own colleges. So every 3 months I would go around the world, tell them why Australia is great and why they should come. So that's enough about me. Richard Gadbury is our current CEO in US. He's the president of Texas Association of Business Brokers, and he's also on my board. So I try and get local team everywhere. We've got Brian Slater in UK. So I try to get Englishmen or whichever country I go to have a local team. So we do have a very, very good executive team. And like I said, in 3-4 years, we want to be a NASDAQ. We want to be $1 billion company. And as of today, we have zero debt. I've stayed out of getting into venture capitalists and getting people. When I was on radio, I would get calls, sir, we want to invest in your company. I said, I don't take anyone's money. So we've done bootstrapping, and I don't let anyone dictate terms to me in terms of investment. I'm giving you $2, I tell you what to do. I said, no, get lost. So, so there's, for entrepreneurship, there's a timing that as to what time you actually take investors in. And I do believe the best way is to do bootstrapping as much as you can until you're really desperate to get some funds or really need it. So, so we do have teams, and we do feel very competent people all around, and we're growing. So my model is very different, where we try to grow through a franchise model, business partnership model, but I do get some key corporate team members to really execute certain things and to develop back end. So this is a story, a timeline. We say the AIM Global from 1993. It's not the holdings company that I have. That was formed in 93. That is when I started my tax practice, once upon a time when I was young. I was in my 20s. So, everything we've done, we've actually touched upon. So right now we have 7 verticals. First vertical is, we say, franchising. So we are a franchisor, and we are acquiring another 7 business concepts, making them into franchising and as a franchisor, and then we'll scale it up. Because franchising is good. If you're let's say, manufacturer, you're a, let's say, food operation again, you've got the best restaurant, and you want to expand globally. Are you going to own those 100 leases and have 1,000 employees, or is it easier for you to become a franchisor? And by the way, there are no laws in franchising in India, so jiski lathi usi ki bhais, But in US, Canada, you have very strict laws. You've got to abide by. It's a very contractual things. And so we are, franchisor in many countries, and that's one of the ways we want to expand. We're in the process of about becoming a franchisor in 7 other business concepts, and we're looking for great ideas that we can convert it into franchise and grow. So franchising, we can help with the franchise development, franchise sales. Second is a business brokerage. It's not a fashion in India, but it's a big business in US, Canada, the Western countries, where people see business as an asset. Just like you have real estate, business is also your asset. So you start up or you buy a sick business, turn it around like a real estate, and then flip it, then sell it at a thing. So business brokerage is a big thing. 3 out of 5 businesses in US are for sale any given time. And 1.5 maybe are thinking about it. Maybe the timing is not right, or they don't know how to go about it, or maybe the valuation is not right. But business brokerage, like just to tell you the numbers, if you're a realtor in California, Desi market, you get 1% commission, 2% commission on whatever you sell. So let's say it's $1 million house, you get $10,000, maybe 20 if you're lucky. But if you sell a business worth $1 million, your commission is 10% to 12%. 100,000 to 120,000. Again, it has reasons why, but we won't get into that. But it's a huge business. That's really our backbone. That's why my CEO is the president of the current Texas Association of Business Brokers with 25 years of experience, huge closings, including all M&As and all that. So that's that. Consulting, we focus on 2 things. I'm very confident if I see a right business, I can turn it around. And not because, yes, you can do it, not just mental thing, but looking at the business model, looking at the numbers and beating the competition. And I've done this few times, and that's why I feel confident. If I come across any good business model, we can go around it. And especially in the West, I'm more confident than here. So that's one thing we do in consulting. And second part of consulting is international consulting. So we have a current menu of 10 countries. So if any of the businesses, they are good to expand, we provide start to finish everything. From strategy, structure, local directorship, market research, competition analysis, and how to really establish those. So it's a one-stop shop, and business consulting is very, very appealing for wherever we go as AIM Global now. Then is the education. That's my lost love from Australia. And so right now, we have a business in Australia. We just applied to be international college, but we want to acquire colleges in Canada, in UK, and because I know that game extremely well. So I used to have students from 30 countries, and we're not student agency. We used to own colleges, and that's what we plan to do. It's a huge. It's white elephant because it needs a lot of money, but a lot of resources. But again, is hugely profitable, and the valuation goes to the roof very, very quickly. So at this stage, we have about 120 corporate training courses that we provide, but we want to be in the education sector in a big way. But we're keeping that for the next phase. Technology, we have our own CRM. We have a digital marketing, social media teams. India, we want to develop a full backend, maybe acquire some smaller technology companies, and something that we could take it to the next level. Business migration. So, people want to expand their business internationally. They want to, grow, but then they also have a need they want to relocate their family, they want to relocate to the children. So at this stage, we focus mainly on US. We have the complete expertise for Canada. We have complete expertise for Australia and is UK. So that's not a main thing, but we know all about it, and we use the immigration attorneys, the lawyers to do the professional work, but we are one-stop shop for our clients, from start to finish. So, and we do have very, very good teams to do that. And last but not the least, vertical for us is a trade and investment. So if you're a manufacturer, you've got some products you want to expand. So we consult for the market strategy, getting into the new market, maybe pricing, maybe it's like my daughter, she started some business in Australia and said, Dad, I don't know whether I'm making money or not, but it's passion. So can you be my consultant? But I can't afford you. I said, okay, let's do a deal. You make chai for me and I'll do free consulting. So, I went to see a manufacturing, we walked together to the shops, we saw the competition, we saw the packaging, how much weight, what's the price and all that. And then I suggested a few things. So, so I said, I can be expensive, but I can be very, reasonable as well. But we definitely have a knowledge and expertise. So with the trade and investment, that's what we do. So how to help, and if once the thing is right, then people may want to set up their own distribution channels or their own offices in the new countries, or we can find them distributors. So that's for the 7 verticals. So we believe in being a one-stop shop. We believe in the trusted advisor. In fact, that's one of the missions we have. So that was enough about the AIM Global. For each of the countries we are in, we actually have legal entities. We actually employ people in our own company name. They're all 100% subsidiaries of our holding company, and all our companies are Texas-based. Again, from Elon Musk to everyone moving to Texas, because in US you have a federal tax and then there's state tax. In Texas there's no state tax, so that's one of the reasons. All right, so let's talk about international expansion. For those who want to grow internationally, how do I do it? Do you want to set up your own office? You want to have partners? You want to have license agreements? Or you can use a franchise model also if you want to grow. So franchising is actually a very, very good way to scale up, where you don't need to invest too much. It's a one-time small cost. And what are you doing as a franchisor? What are you doing? And why would someone come to you and buy your franchise? So don't take the Indian franchise as the normal system. Here you don't have laws. So I'm talking about US, Canada, where it's a contractual agreement. So if you're a franchisor in US or Canada, you have to prepare a document called franchise disclosure document. So that really is the contract. Hey, as a franchisor, this is what I'm going to do for you. You can use my name, you can use my system, I'm going to provide training for you, I'm going to provide business support for you, you're going to use, whatever. And in return, you're going to pay me, this is the initial franchise fees, this is my royalty, this is what you can do, this is what you can't do. Everything is on the contract. So it's a great way, because let's say you have the best, food franchise. I would come to you because I don't want to reinvent the wheel. I want to use your brand name. I want you to train me. I want you to tell me what equipments I need. So that is how the franchise model works, and it's really very, very powerful, and it's a very, very big industry in the entire world. And for entrepreneurs, everyone should look at it very seriously. And I'm talking to a few entrepreneurs from India, and instead of you owning 5-10 stores here, you come up, we make you a franchisor, and it's easy to become a franchisor for US, Canada, and even Mexico in one go, because it's very, very similar business models. It's only the dollar or the currencies change. And so it's very, very good. And the more you scale up, someone else is giving you the money, and someone else is taking the risk. They are paying for the rent, they're employing people, and they're giving you the royalty. And as you go, and the very strict norms in US, Canada, and some of these countries where it is enforceable, and your brand, your value is going to the roof. And it's very easy to become a multimillionaire just by a few hundred franchisors and all that. Here we want to own 100 stores. Why? You can make more money end of the day. So international franchising is a great model, but there are challenges. It's not just an easy thing. So you are very successful here. You know how to do business here. Maybe you know the local policeman or the MLA or MP or the Prime Minister. That secures you. You have to understand the market research. The market that you're going to. And let's say even if you're in Canada, the Ontario market is totally different to BC, British Columbia, Vancouver. Totally different in the mindset of people, the way business is done. So if you're an entrepreneur, you're taking your product, you're putting your services, you have to do market research and understand the local business ways of doing business. Okay? Then is the compliance and legal issues. It's a huge thing. A lot of businesses really are affected. We have a company in the education compliance. It's extremely profitable because the international education providers, they actually lag behind in the compliance issues. So whenever you're looking to expand your business, please look at compliance and legal issues. The cultural adaptation, the cultural issues. I have someone who, one of my staff, he actually advertised something, and this another person came, Avinash, who did that ad? Because it doesn't look like a Canadian has done it. Because he'd done it totally like an Indian way. And even the telephone numbers he put, he's living in Canada. But, so you've got to really understand how the locals are going to perceive your way of doing business. Okay, you're very successful here, doesn't mean it's going to exactly things are going to work in the other places in the world that you're trying to do the business. Logistics, supply chain, currency exchange, financial risks, political and economic issues, market entry strategies, brand localization. Maybe here your brand is well known, but you've got to take steps to make your brand aware. So these are the challenges that you have when you're trying to make your product, your business go global. Whether it is franchising or non-franchising, these are the issues that you must consider. So if you're trying to take your business international, you got to really think first, am I ready for it? And am I ready not just because you have money or not? It is so many different aspects. I think Sahil was saying, there's 5 areas or 10, whatever. You really have to look at from every point of view. There's one franchisor from New York. She wanted me to bring her food franchise here. And I said, where are you going to get your ingredients? Where are you going to get the cheeses that you use? Where are you going to get the thing? So, these are the practical things we're going to have. And then, okay, what about the training? How are you going to train your franchisees? So, whether franchise or not, you've got to really consider these things. What will be my legal structure? What will be my, how I'm going to operate it? So, these are things you should think of. Then again is the issue about the money, how the funding is going to come. There are a lot of businesses go bust, not because the models are not good or the people behind them are not good, because they simply have run out of money. Their working capital is short and they're not managed well. So funding source, or whether it's self-funded or you have got adequate working capital, you just have to make sure that you have planned your operations in a reasonable way, so that doesn't happen. And then, which is the way I want to expand. I want to open up. Everyone says I want to be in California, I want to be in New York. What is the way we're going to do? So whether you take business partner, whether it's licensing, franchising, there's so many different ways that one can go about it. And so all these things one has to really take care of. We've been in the business now, and so even for India, I've got about 10 franchisors from overseas who've given us exclusive rights to represent them in India. And we can't just take the franchise from overseas and plant it in India. There's so many different issues that are there. I know two stories. One is the biggest franchise in business brokerage, and I know this because I was a franchisee of theirs for 4 locations in Dallas. And they are in the biggest rah. They went to Australia, and because of the glamour, glitter, they attracted a lot of franchisees. But the thing is, all franchisees were crying after some time because the model was not working. They were extremely successful. They still call themselves the biggest brokerage franchise in the world, but it failed in things because they did not study the local market. It was a small market. There were different ways of doing business and stuff like that. So for all of you who want to expand your business, who want to expand whichever way, please study the local market. So, some of these are brands. So we do provide the services. What do? We can help with the market research, market entry strategy, legal and compliance issues. We can help if you want to go through the franchise route. It's very small. It's not too expensive, by the way, compared to what you're trying to. It's really simple. And we give legal, as a proposal that outlines everything. So there's no surprises, and it's very affordable. And if you do think of going global, don't just think Canada because my uncle or auntie or nephew, someone lives there. Do the research. And if you're going to US, might as well do US and Canada at the same time. Financial planning, it's not about the investment, but basically the cash flows and the strategies, budgeting and all that. Brand strategy, partner identification, training, all those sort of things that we can actually help any of the entrepreneurs. And it's just not for US. I was quite surprised the other day. There's a franchisor from Australia. He wanted us to help, and being natural, US. And I said, so you want to be in US? He said, no. I want to be in Mexico. I want to be in Canada, because they do IELTS and few English courses and all that. But I'm more keen on Nigeria and Ghana. I said, how come? And he says, no, because people from those countries will take up our course so that they can go to US. So, it was a learning for me, because we just assume that everyone wants to come to US, but it's not. And all right, so that was about the international expansion, and we do have a lot of experience, and we can definitely help. And in Australia, I was known for usually the lawyers and accountants, the way they make money, they have a good hourly rate, and they keep going round and round and round, keep billing you more and more. In Australia, people knew I don't have time. And so I charge them for what I do for them. I save money, I save for them, strategic advice that I give for them. So I never went on my hourly rate. And so, it's very, very important that you get good advice, whether it's in locally to grow or if you want to grow internationally, it's very, very important. So with the expansion side, now let me add to the business migration side. So you want to grow your business, but you may want your family to relocate, things like that. So I'm going to just touch upon some of the major sort of categories that you can consider when you're thinking of US. Canada is a lot easier to migrate to with a lower investment amounts, but I won't touch upon that because I think everyone from Punjab knows everything about Canada. So let me talk about US, okay? Why US? End of the day, 25% of the world economy is US. So no matter what horrible news you hear, all the problems, if you're an entrepreneur, that's the right place. You will get the people who are not going to laugh at you. You don't need big political connections or big, to rise. If your concept is good, if your business model is good, someone will come and say, son, here's $10,000. Tell me how you're going to spend it. What are you going to do with that for the business? Then you show that person that 10,000 scale up your business. Next time we'll give you 100,000. Next time we'll give you $1 million. But you've got to also show. You're not just going to take the money and run. And so that's how all these businesses, including your, all these big companies, including your Microsoft or, they all started in garage. And that's how it all started. So the thing is, it's a land of entrepreneurship. US, the government really gives you money. Government really encourages you. And, the tax rates are a lot lower. When Trump came in, he basically said, if you want to introduce one new regulation for the business community, you got to take 2 out. And so that actually helped. All the money for the Americans was all stashed overseas. He says, bring back all the money to US and just pay one-time 10% tax and things like that. So US is a capitalistic society. I mean, for me, it's not the best place to live, but for entrepreneurs, it's the best place to actually thrive and enjoy your potential. So people want education, they want the children to be educated there. They want the opportunities for them business-wise. And that's why US is a great place. So, there's a couple of categories which are very popular. And I'll tell you some, got a lot of experience in that. We've been doing it from 2016, the business migration for the US. So like I said before, E2 is a category which is not for Indians. Just 100,000 is fine. That's why some people were taking some steps. But the most popular category is called EB5. And for those who are entrepreneurs, if the investment amounts have gone up, it's $1,050,000 now. There is an exception of 800,000. How many minutes left? 1 minute left. You should have told me 10 minutes ago. But all right, so L1 intra-company EB5 is a great way, and we can help you if you are looking to expand. So you not only expand, but it's more direct equity that we work on, and there's some conditions from a source of funds to 10 jobs and all. L1 is intra-company transfer. So if you already have an established business here, we can help you incorporate in US, and there's a way through intra-company transfer that you can actually get a green card in US as well. So there are ways that you could do it. I'll just brief 1 minute I've got. So let me just go to quickly. We are growing internationally through a business partnership and a franchise model, and we'll be happy to talk to anyone if you want to become part of our team to take AIM Global offerings here. And last 1 minute, okay? We are going public, so we are taking all the steps towards it, and as part of the requirement is that we need to have certain number of shares in public hands. We need to have certain number of shareholders. So we started taking steps. And so we put out to the people, and we also said, we'll have a buyback guarantee that you invest in 9 months. If you don't you can take your money back, and we'll give you 10% return on top. But if you see your money is actually multiplied in that, you can keep it. So the thing is that just one investor came and said, "No, I'm going to put all 5 million. We don't want to dilute much at this point, but just to satisfy the thing." So I do thank Punjab Angels Network for allowing this, to present about AIM Global. I do want to, thank all of you and wish you all the best in your entrepreneurship, business ventures, whatever you do in life. Thank you for putting up with me and listening to me, and, all the best. Thank you.